A special News Center Now.
10-4.
On the line.
This is probably the worst day of their life.
The men and women who rush toward tragedy, sometimes without getting paid.
We all have the same goal of wanting to help our community.
Inside the lives of first responders.
And if you can't multitask, stay home.
Meet the heroes.
We all have the same job to do. We all do our job. We just all go about it differently.
Plus,
we're under the microscope at all times.
The struggles they face every day.
So we're just trying to be the best part of their worst day.
On the Line starts now.
Hello everybody, welcome to a special edition of News Center Now on this Monday. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I am Amanda Hill, and welcome to the South Portland Fire and Rescue Station on Western Avenue.
Yeah, this is a pretty special day for us, as we've been telling you for pretty much the last week or so. Today we're doing a whole half hour just on public safety, first responders, and all the people that really give selflessly of themselves to make us safer every day. So it's a pretty special half hour for us.
Yeah, we'll be bringing you stories of police officers, firefighters, dispatchers, wardens, and stories of people who've been saved by them.
It will be a big half hour, and as you mentioned, it's police, it's fire, it's paramedics, it's stories of first responders from all across our state.
And oh, by the way, this is the kickoff to National EMS Week, which is in its 43rd year, by the way.
So kind of fitting, right?
Yeah, very fitting.
As you guys know, because this is something else we've talked quite a bit about, finding police officers in our state, it's more challenging than it's ever been before. About 60 officers graduated just over the weekend from the academy in Vassalboro.
Right, and with those officers just coming in, it's kind of a battle to get them to your department, and that's a struggle that a lot of departments are facing right now.
And when I came on, there was, I want to say 300 people took a test and applied at the same time for 5 positions. So we're probably down to, 5 to 10 applicants a year that we're looking at.
The start of the change, people were...
The Lewiston Police Department, like other departments, is facing a potentially dire situation. Many officers are at retirement age and not enough applicants are signing up to take their place.
Generation. It's, if it doesn't bother me, if it doesn't affect me, then it really has nothing to do with me, and I'm going to leave it alone.
Nationwide, police departments are struggling to bring in new applicants. But why?
Who wants to get involved in a career where everything you do at every given moment is recorded and critiqued constantly?
Lieutenant Dave St. Pierre joined 25 years ago because he wanted to make a difference.
We will do anything we can to help the community, to protect the community.
But it isn't always easy. In fact, it rarely is.
You're lied to every single day. We do have a lot of supporters, which is a great thing, but we also have a lot of critics.
Departments like Brunswick and Westbrook are offering bonuses to new applicants, which is tough for smaller departments to compete with.
We've got 16 officers that can leave with a 2-week notice right now. I mean, that's almost a third of our department.
South Portland Police Chief Ed Googans says right now there is no plan B.
When you look right down to it, who really would want to get into law enforcement in today's with today's issues? Working nights, working weekends, working holidays, having people essentially that don't always like you. And when you look at that and the demands and the constant criticism, it makes it very difficult.
There also isn't much support to change the direction of this dangerous path.
There was a respect there, I think, that's kind of gone away.
Now, a lot of these departments are spending tens of thousands of dollars to send their officers to the academy for training. And once an officer has that training and that experience, that makes them a little bit more marketable to other departments, so they could be easily poached. Complicated situation.
Yep.
So when you or a loved one gets hurt, we know it's the EMTs, the paramedics who show up to make sure that you are okay right in the field and bring you to the hospital.
But that's easy if you live in highly populated communities. If you're in rural parts of Maine, sometimes you need help faster than the ambulance can actually get to you. Chris Costa shows us a way that sometimes they will bring the hospital to you.
When the alarm sounds, these paramedics jump into action. second.
There's still a huge adrenaline rush to go out and do it.
When a real-life call comes in, flight paramedic Billy Stewart answers.
Once those blades start spinning and you're 2,000 feet in the air, your heart's pumping because you got to make some quick thoughts and you got to be on your A game for sure.
Stewart works at the newest LifeFlight base in Maine, located in Sanford. Before that, LifeFlight had 2 bases, one in Lewiston and one in Bangor. The new base cuts down their response times to rural areas.
It literally is the difference of life and death in a lot of situations.
Inside this helicopter, they have all of the equipment that you would find at a hospital, allowing them to deliver critical care to a patient before they ever reach the emergency room.
So we actually bring the hospital to the patient quicker than what they were receiving before.
Providing critical care soon after an incident improves a patient's outcome. LifeFlight is the only ambulance service in the state that carries blood on board. Flying at 170 miles per hour and able to perform more procedures than many ground crews.
When you have a flight that you truly know you've saved somebody's life or impacted their life, that's unmeasurable.
You just try to remember that this is probably the worst day of their life. So we're just trying to be the best part of their worst day.
Stewart told me on that first day at the Sanford base that they responded to 3 calls with their LifeFlight helicopter. So he said, I think our presence was validated on day 1. I'm here now with Matt Albrecht. He's a paramedic with the South Portland Fire Department. And Matt, when you are in this ambulance, when you are transporting somebody to the hospital, giving them that critical care, what's going through your head? What are the thoughts? Is it stressful?
Well, this is pretty much a hospital on wheels, so we've got to do everything from put Band-Aids on to start someone's heart, put tubes in their mouth to breathe for them. There's a lot of stuff going on, and we've got to pretty much do all that all at the same time. Sometimes we're alone back here, sometimes we have help. Sometimes patients aren't very happy with us because all the epidemics we've been seeing, so they're trying to fight against us. There's police back here. It can be anything from a nice smooth ride to just a battle royale almost, trying to get everything all going.
When you do have that moment, when you know that the person you've transported has made it to the hospital safe, they've survived, what does that feel like to you to know that you played a role in that?
Everything we do is all about a team. It's not all about one specific person, and to know that you were a part of such a team that truly made a difference in someone's life, who truly appreciates it, that's the boost to your confidence level, your morale, and it just really, we don't always see good things in the job, and that can bring us down, just like anything. And when you know you played a part in truly making a difference in saving someone's life, that's really, that's why we're here, and it reminds everyone why they do this job.
Awesome. Matt, thank you so much for everything your whole team, and paramedics like you across the state do. Thank you so much. Lee and Amanda, we'll send it back to you.
All right, guys, thank you very much from all the way over there. I appreciate that. We go from the ambulance to the fire truck.
Right, and a lot of small communities rely on those volunteer firefighters.
Yeah, actually, that's the way it is across the entire country as well, too. When we talk about firefighters in Maine, a lot of the times we are talking about volunteers, and actually the numbers show that 70% of firefighters in the U.S. are volunteers. Now, at the same time, that number of people willing to make that sacrifice hit a 30-year low in 2011, but things are looking up, especially in small communities in Maine like Orrs and Bailey Island, where people from all walks of life have stepped up to fill the need.
Quaint and picturesque. When someone describes what Maine is all about, images like these are what you might picture. It's hard to imagine chaotic events happening here. But they do. And when they do, these are the people who show up.
I would say that we are a pretty eclectic kind of group.
A project manager at Bath Iron Works, a stay-at-home mom, a human resources director.
We all come from different livelihoods.
They may not be the people you think of first when you think of a first responder, but these island residents heard the call to become volunteer firefighters or EMTs. Take Phil, for example.
I'm not someone that kind of wants to sit around and relax.
The retired pilot decided his new passion would involve strapping on this equipment and showing the younger guys in firefighter training how it's done.
Obviously, I was the oldest guy there, and they called me Dad. I was just glad they didn't call me Granddad.
He completed the rigorous course and is now certified as an internal firefighter. It's a job he won't be able to do forever, and a concern he has is one a lot of communities are facing.
There's fewer younger people here in the community who want to take that step to participate.
Dan Reynolds is helping to change that.
Getting involved in organizations like that is the way that people kind of connect with each other.
Balancing a full-time job in Bath with his desire to give back to his community. He isn't always around, but will always help when he can. And he hopes other younger members of the community will step up to fill the gaps.
We definitely need more people, though. There's a certain amount of this work that's just volume of bodies, particularly on the fire side.
Turns out it's happening now. 2 more island residents are getting out of their comfort zones and into tight spaces at the Tri-County Training Association.
What we're running today is firefighter survival.
Spending 8 hours here on a Saturday crawling through this training facility so they can learn how to help a neighbor in need.
That one life that you save or bring to safety makes it, every minute that you're doing training, it makes it worth it.
If this looks too intimidating, the members of OBI's first responder unit say there are ways to be useful aside from running into burning buildings.
We can use anybody.
Helping with heavy lifting, rolling hoses, driving, even just showing up so someone else can respond.
If you're available and you hear a call come in, if you want to step in, meet me here and take care of the little ones so I can go on that call, that's also something that we could use.
The only requirement is you have to be willing to get up and go whenever the tone goes off. A small sacrifice for this group if it means they can be there to help make a terrible day better for their friends.
I can tell you that there's nothing better than getting a call and being able to respond to someone and know who they are.
We all have the same goal of wanting to help our community, so I think that's what brings us together.
How cool is that?
Yeah, some special people in the Orrs and Bailey Island community, and they're volunteer, but if you live in a community that does have a paid fire department, they're also looking for volunteers too. The shortage is everywhere, so be sure to call up, see what you can do if you're interested in helping. And I just got to give a quick shout out to the first responders in my life, my dad Craig and my stepmom Amy. So thank you so much for all you do for the community, and I'm just so happy to be a part of this day. It's so great.
Aw, thanks, Jess.
Thanks.
I was working the night my mother passed away here in town. I couldn't leave.
Selfless sacrifice. When you call for help, this man is one of the people who may answer. The milestone he will mark this week, next on Now.
Okay, these guys are the true first responders. When you call, they answer.
Yeah, I mean, just think about that. Dispatchers, they play such a crucial role whenever any call comes in. They've got to figure out who's going where and when they need to get there. Eric Berry started this job as a dispatcher 35 years ago. It comes to an end this week.
Yeah, everybody that you meet in this job becomes a friend.
In that case, Eric Berry must have a lot of friends because he has met a lot of people in his 35-year career. During that time, Eric has seen a lot, heard a lot, and sacrificed a lot.
I was working the night my mother passed away here in town. I couldn't leave. I had to wait for one of the other dispatchers to come in, and I got one of the officers to go up to the house, you know, and be with family till I got there. It's stuff you do. Careful 909.
After his first day on the job, Eric was bitten by the public safety bug and knew this would be his career. He also recommends it to anybody else interested as long as you possess one important skill set.
You learn how to multitask very fast, and if you can't multitask, stay home.
I can't imagine doing it for a day. I have told these people I have the utmost respect for dispatchers because it's certainly something that I couldn't do. I don't know if it's the multitasking or so much going on all at the same time, phones ringing, noise, people talking. I just couldn't do it.
With the countless stories come countless memories and the things Eric will miss the most when his final shift comes to an end.
Everybody. Everybody. It's a family. Dispatch, the patrol, fire, rescue, public works, town hall. You know, you get to know everybody in town.
Now, for one woman in Mechanic Falls, a first responder not only changed her life, and he saved it. Here's their story.
When he left that day, I never thought I'd see him again, but I always thought of him.
A case of epiglottitis doesn't normally deliver life's answers, but it did for Kayla 7 years ago in the form of a first responder in Mechanic Falls.
He had put my shoes on, he walked me to the car.
In that moment, an instant connection with John Damon.
And they actually thought it was a anxiety attack because every time he talked to me, he'd hold my hand and I'd stop shaking. And then he'd stop talking, and then I'd start shaking again.
Since that day, Kayla often wondered about John.
I remembered his truck. He drove a Toyota Tacoma, so I'd see it around town, and I'd be like, that's the guy that showed up.
He was wondering too.
In the EMS and fire service, you try to separate calls from reality. It's just part of our coping mechanism. But I will say, you always wonder. You know, how is that person? What happened with that person? You know, what's going on?
It wasn't until 2 years later when they met again at a softball game.
So I joined and found out that he was on the team. So it was a good experience because I never got to thank him and tell him how much I appreciated all he did.
With her, it was very nice that, you know, I was able to find that out and we were able to establish a relationship that we have now.
And establish a life together after Kayla finished her test to become a firefighter herself.
I came out of, you know, doing the training and whatever, and he gave me a water bottle, and in the water bottle was my ring.
A case of epiglottitis doesn't normally deliver life's answers.
I never would have thought it would have happened, but it did, and it does make you think, you know, things like this could happen. You know, it's not just well, it is kind of a fairy tale, but you know, it's real life. That can happen. It's not
just the movies.
Right, it's not just the movies. You know, great things like this could happen.
Now, Kayla is not a firefighter anymore, but she's always listening to the radio to make sure that John is safe. So their 2-year-old daughter, Maddie, they also have a baby boy on the way. So
how sweet.
It is the best love story. That was like really striking to us to see that on Facebook. We asked for your stories and we just had to tell it.
Yeah, so thanks for reaching out. We'll be right back.
Oh, we're on right now. All right, well, welcome back. We're going to do some weather now. We're going to keep it quick for you so we can get the rest of the show going here. Let's start with the radar, where we got some showers moving in across southern parts of Maine and mid-coastal Maine as well. This is part of a cold front that's going to be lifting through. Good news is by about midnight or so, we get most of the rain out of here, but the cloud cover, you can see, is a little bit slower to erode, so it erodes from west to east by later on this evening. By tomorrow morning, some low clouds hanging around, but by the afternoon, start to get some sunshine, temperatures into the 70s at that point. So it's kind of up and down. We get a decent day on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Showers return Thursday afternoon. Friday looks terrible right now, unfortunately. A rainstorm coming in, kind of a nor'easter. Obviously, it's going to be rain, not snow, but it's going to be a nasty day on Friday, and then we should sandwich it with some decent weather on Saturday and Sunday. Back to some showers, unfortunately, on Monday. Gus?
All right.
All right.
I'm taking this from
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
Yeah, you talk about rain, we take the mic back.
Right. So we're done with him. Law enforcement careers in Maine are pretty male dominated. In 2015, there were just over 2,000 male police officers and only about 150 females, making up just 7.2% of that field.
Now, currently there are 119 male game wardens compared to just 5 females. That means only 4.2% of the force is made up of women.
Michelle Merrifield is one of those 5 game wardens that is female. She patrols on her own with her own boat, her own snowmobile, her own ATV, and she would not have it any other way.
I grew up a daddy's girl, went hunting with him, fishing, hiking, mountain biking. I mean, we just spent so much time in the outdoors. I was very little. I remember going to fish a river. I remember a conservation officer coming down to check us, and I was so awestruck. And I was even more awestruck when I learned that we really weren't supposed to be there. But apparently there were some signs somewhere. Perhaps my dad saw, perhaps he didn't. And I can remember how wonderful that New Hampshire conservation officer was. I do remember specifically thinking, wow, that's really cool. He just basically said, you need to leave here, but here's a really good place to go. Do you want to come out? Good girl. I oversee the K-9 team, whether it be tracking, evidence detection, we do hasty air scent, we do human remains detection, we do a lot of different types of searches. There's no difference between myself or any of the other wardens other than we all have our unique personalities. I'm no different than Sarah Miller, who's another female warden, who's no different than Dave Ross, who's a neighboring warden of mine. This is my office. And when I say that, we all have the same job to do. We all do our job. We just all go about it differently. Me specifically, what I enjoy most about my job is actually the feeling you get when you bring someone home who is missing. I have more in the last even 3 to 5 years had people that just see me at this, when I'm pumping gas, come up to me and say, thank you for your service. I never used to have that before. And so that amazes me. That's really rewarding. We've been on Northwoods Law and people get to see a little bit of what we do, but I don't think they don't experience the call at some odd hour. You're the one that's going there. When you go there, there's family, there's people in the community, no matter what time it is. Take care, you guys. When you show up, they expect you to just make it better and fix it. So you have that stress of knowing that when you get on scene, you're the one that's supposed to fix it. The same reason you love this job is sometimes the same reason you may hate it, because this can turn into the most miserable environment. I love it when it's calm and I'm not beating the waves. And I had a point in time where I started looking around saying, you know, is there something else out there? And you know what? I looked and there was nothing out there. There was nothing out there that I wanted to do. I wouldn't do anything any different.
When you love the outdoors that much, I mean, that's basically the only job for you.
Or Bill Green's Maine.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Those are your two choices.
Coming up after the break.
November 14th. July 17th.
June 21st. May 23rd.
Oh, baby, these firefighters have more in common than just a passion for helping people. You've got to see this. It's next on Now. It won't be the late night calls to the fire station that will have a group of Bangor firefighters up late at night.
Zach Blanchard shows us this special experience they are all sharing.
November 14th. July 17th.
June 21st. May 23rd.
Those aren't just any dates. They're due dates. Just 4 of the 6 Bangor firefighters all expecting, yep, babies. Some were planned.
We actually spent the last year and a half building an addition on the side of our house. That's how well we planned this one.
Others, not so much.
It was definitely unexpected, but we were both extremely happy.
Now, raising a family while putting your life on the line is not easy.
When we come to work in the morning, we're certainly thinking about our family.
It is tough when she needs help and I can't be there for her.
I worry about what could happen.
It's definitely tough, but we're so proud of him.
And just like the job, the veterans might be giving some advice to the newcomers.
It's going to be fun to have all these little babies running around, and they're going to grow up together.
A journey they don't have to experience alone, proving that heroes on the front lines have heroes at home too.
He's definitely the hero, not me.
And that is our show. A huge thank you to the South Portland Fire Department for hosting us tonight.
All right, guys, News Center at 5:30 starts right now.